Go to your dryer and pull out the lint screen. That gray felt mat you peel off and throw away without a thought, twice a week, every week, for years. I want you to hold it in your hand a moment, because I am going to tell you what it actually is, and once you hear it, you will never throw one away carelessly again. That is, your clothes. Not dirt off your clothes, not dust from the air. That mat is thread and fiber pulled out of the actual cloth of your actual shirts and jeans and towels. A little of the garment itself, stripped off and packed into felt. Every time you clear that screen, you are throwing away a piece of every piece of clothing you own. And here is the part that ought to stop you cold. The washer is doing the very same thing, every load, and you never see it, because that fiber goes down the drain instead of onto a screen. The men of science have weighed it, and I will give you their numbers, for they are not small numbers. Your work shirts do not wear out only at work. They wear out in the machine. The fading, the thinning, the cuffs going ragged, the jeans going pale and limp. A good share of that is not the job doing it. It is the washing. And the fix is not a product, and it is not hand washing in a creek. It is free, it is 2 settings on the machine you already own, and the science behind it is as solid as anything I have ever brought to this channel. One quick thing before we begin. I put together a free guide with 15 fixes that cost $1 or less. It's linked below. Leave your email and I'll send it straight to you. Now, let's get to work. Understand what happens inside that drum, because the whole method falls out of it. Cloth is thread, and thread is fiber, thousands of little strands twisted together. When clothes tumble in water, they rub. Against each other, against the drum, over and over, thousands of times a load. And every bit of that rubbing works little fibers loose from the thread, the way a rope frays where it runs over a rail. Hot water makes it worse because heat swells and softens the fibers and loosens the dye that gives the cloth its color. And time makes it worse because an 80-minute wash is simply more rubbing than a 30-minute wash. More heat, more time, more rubbing, more of your shirt washed down the drain, and more of its color with it. That is the whole mechanism. It is not complicated. Your clothes are being sanded, gently, in hot water, for as long as the cycle runs. Now the numbers, because I promised them. The university men in England ran a proper trial. Same shirts, same machines, same detergent, 16 washes. One set got a short, cool wash, 30 minutes, barely warm. The other got the ordinary long, warm wash, 85 minutes, the kind most machines run by default. And when they weighed the fiber in the wash water and measured the color, the short, cool wash shed up to half the fiber and lost far less of its dye, near 3/4 less color bleeding into the water. Half the wear, most of the color kept. From nothing but turning 2 dials down. And they proved it again with real families' real dirty laundry, so this is not a laboratory trick. If you like a fix that costs nothing and is backed by men who weighed the evidence, do an old fellow a small kindness and tap the like, so the machine shows this to somebody else wondering why their work shirts go gray in a year. Then subscribe. One old skill a week, honest limits and all. So here is the habit, and it is the whole heart of this video. For your everyday wash, the ordinary loads of work clothes, shirts, jeans, socks, the clothes that are dusty and sweaty but not filthy, you choose the coldest water and the shortest cycle that gets that load clean. On most machines, that is the cold setting and the quick wash or express cycle. 2 settings. That is the habit. It costs nothing. It saves on the power bill besides, and it cuts the wear on every garment you own, every single load, for the rest of your life. Now I hear the objection already, because it was my objection too. Hot water washes better, everybody knows that. And 50 years ago, everybody was right. The old soaps needed heat to work at all, and your grandmother boiled the wash because with her soap, she truly had to. But hear the honest truth about now. Detergent has changed under our feet. The modern detergents are built with enzymes, little workers that are made to do their job in cool water. And the detergent men have spent 40 years perfecting exactly that. For ordinary dirt, sweat, dust, everyday grime, a modern detergent in cold water cleans as well as it does in hot. The heat you are adding is not cleaning better, it is just cooking your clothes. The belief is left over from your grandmother's kitchen, and it was true for her, and it is not true for you. And the difference is in the jug of detergent, not in the water. So run the everyday load cold and quick with a proper dose of a decent detergent, and it comes out clean, and it comes out with its color and its fiber still in it. And two plain rights and wrongs while we are standing at the machine. Do not overload the drum, and do not run it near empty either. A stuffed drum grinds clothes against each other like stones in a sack, and a near-empty drum lets a few garments slap and tumble hard with too much water and room. A comfortably full drum, where the clothes can move but not fly, is the gentlest ride. And measure your detergent honest. Too much soap does not clean more. It leaves residue that stiffens cloth and holds dirt, and it makes the machine rinse longer and harder, which is more rubbing. The cap has lines on it for a reason. Use the line. Now the limits, and hear them plainly, because I will not sell you a rule that breaks the first time you kneel in mud. The quick, cool wash is for the everyday load, ordinary dirt in ordinary amounts, and a smaller load at that. For a quick cycle is a short cycle, and it cannot work miracles on a mountain. When the clothes are truly filthy, the jeans you drained the tractor in, the clothes from digging the fence line in clay, grease and oil from the shop. That load needs the real cycle. Warm water, if the care label allows it, full-time, proper work. Cold and quick on heavy grime just gives you damp, dirty clothes. And then folks say the method failed, when the method was never meant for that load. Match the wash to the dirt. Everyday dirt, cold and quick. Real filth, real cycle. The label inside the collar is the rule book, and it outranks me and everybody else. If the label says cold only, believe it. If it allows warm, that is for the filthy days. And one limit I will state by itself because it is a safety matter and not a laundry matter. If you have been spraying, if your clothes have pesticide or chemical on them from treating the orchard or the field or the shop, those clothes do not go in with the family wash at all, cold or hot. Chemical-soiled clothing gets washed separate by the instructions on the chemical's own label, and that is a rule from the people who study farm safety, and there is no bending it. This video is about ordinary dirt. Chemicals are their own subject with their own rules. 3 more small habits, each a few seconds, all serving the same mechanism, less rubbing on the face of the cloth. First, turn the work clothes inside out before they go in. Think on what you learned about the rubbing. The tumbling wears whichever surface faces outward. Turn the shirt inside out, and the rubbing spends itself on the inside, where nobody sees, and the outside face, the color, the print, the good surface, rides through the wash protected. The extension people teach this one plain, and it costs you 4 seconds a garment. Second, zip the zippers and hook the hooks before washing. A flying zipper in a drum is a little saw blade tumbling with your shirts, and metal buttons and buckles are no better, snagging and rasping everything they touch all cycle long. Closed, they lie flat and cut nothing. 4 more seconds. Third, and this is the one that will save you the most, go easy with the dryer. Remember the lint screen from the beginning? That mat of your own clothing. The dryer makes that mat by tumbling your clothes in hot, moving air, and the men who measure such things found the dryer sheds fiber from your clothes at a rate right up there with the washer itself. Every hot, fast cycle is another sanding. So dry on low heat instead of high. It is gentler by far and costs only time. And for the work shirts and jeans you want to live longest, the clothesline is still the finest dryer ever made. Free, gentle, and the sun does the freshening. I know the line is not always practical, so I will say it plain. Low heat when you use the machine, the line when you can. That alone will thin that lint mat week by week, and every bit it thins is shirt you kept. And while we are at honest truths, let me take one old recipe off your list, kindly, for it was my people's recipe too. You will hear that a cup of salt or a glug of vinegar in the wash sets the dye and stops the fading. The extension people have tested it against modern cloth, and it does not hold. Salt played a part in the dye vats of 100 years ago, at the dyeing, in the factory, not in the rinse at home. On today's fabrics and today's dyes, the salt and the vinegar in your machine set nothing. The fading is friction and heat and time, and the cure is less friction, less heat, less time, which is everything I have shown you today. Do not pour pantry goods in the washer and call it protection. Turn the two dials instead. The dials are the ones that work. Let me take you back to where we started, because now you can read it. Next wash day, run your everyday load the new way. Cold, quick, inside out, zippers closed, honest scoop of detergent, low heat in the dryer or the line if the sun is willing. And then pull that lint screen and look at it. Give it a few weeks of the new habit and look again. The mat gets thinner. That is not a trick of the eye. That is fiber staying in your shirts instead of leaving them. You are holding the evidence in your hand, and it is the same evidence the university men weighed in their laboratory, only yours is free, and it is about your own clothes. That is my favorite kind of proof, the kind a man can check himself at his own machine. And there is a plain idea under all of it that is worth carrying beyond the laundry room. We think of wear as the price of use, and some of it is. But a good share of the wear in this world comes not from the using of things, but from the careless maintaining of them. The shirt worn out by its own washing. It is worth a look around at what else in your keeping is being worn out by the way it is cared for. So tell me in the comments, how long does a work shirt or a pair of jeans last in your house before it is done? A year? 2? 5? And check that dryer screen this week and tell me what you found in it, now that you know what it is. I read every one. If you would care to keep another good thing alive with me next week, subscribe and you will find the way back. Until then, remember, the lint is not dust. The lint is your clothes leaving. Cold, short, inside out, gentle heat, and they stay. God keep you, friend. We will talk again.